Oh, so you're both ganging up on me.
What? No, we just need to talk about this civilly.
Oh, that's how it is, huh? If that's how it's gonna be, I'll get my dad on the phone.
Ooh boy, this is where things get real dramatic, I gotta say. If you haven't watched part 1 of the roommates video, the info card will be on the top right, and it'll be right there for you to watch. But if you have bad memory, here's a really quick recap. When I first met Ogre, we got along fairly well. I trusted her to tell her some things about me, and she was really nice about everything.
It's too bright.
Oh, why don't we just add a towel or something to hang to block the light?
No, I already feel uncomfortable and cramped.
I have this homework due tomorrow though.
Well, I can't sleep. Can you maybe leave?
Ever since that fight, it got super awkward and uncomfortable between us. I still try to act like I'm happy and smile around her, but I low-key just want to punch Ogre in the face. I just suppressed it with all my might. We would have our time in the room where she goes out during the day and I go out every night. This only lasted a couple weeks though, until the biggest fight we've had yet. But before that, Ogre's done some really passive-aggressive stuff while I was on call with friends. She complained a lot about how loud I was before. So that day, I was pretty quiet, trying not to make too much noise since today, she was in the same room as me. The most I did was giggle and chime in some conversations my friends had. She couldn't even handle that much. So what she did to retaliate was to play her music out loud, but like really loud. She was clearly doing this to annoy the living out of me. I asked her, "Is it alright if you put on headphones?" And she had an attitude about while saying, "Well, I study better without my headphones and I can hear you less." Or the, "Oh, I need to charge my headphones." Well, no shit, you hear less. I have to mute the entire time so my friends won't hear your edgy, sad girl music, and you're not even bothering to charge your headphones with that excuse? She blasted it so loud, I couldn't even talk to my friends that I just left the room. Not even according to the stupid schedule that she wanted, and I still had to leave that night. So, 2 weeks of this build-up and her being unreasonable with demands and me sucking up to it. There was one day where she was sick. I've just finished with class and I just wanted to go home, but she asked if I could stay out for 2 hours so she could take a nap. I said sure, because I didn't want to deal with any of her complaints and she's sick, so I'll let her rest. So I stayed in the classroom doing some work and came back to the apartment later to see her awake working at her desk. I went right to work and hopped in a call, and while drawing and talking to him, guess what she does? She starts blasting the Bad Guys song on repeat, so I have to continue to mute again. This is literally her little immature way of retaliating like a little 6-year-old instead of actually talking to me. So I guess she knows she is the bad guy, so then congratulations. Good job on getting your point across. I think by now this was our breaking point and we've both had enough of each other. So unfortunately, I don't remember how the fight started, but before I knew it, we were already arguing with each other.
You're always on call while I'm just working, and that's not fair for me because I need to study.
I don't think you realize, but I get that you're studying. That's why I leave the room to leave you alone. We made that schedule so you can sleep, so I don't know why you're still complaining.
It's not fair that you get to have the room all day while I have it during the night.
You don't even need the room all the time during the day. You said it yourself. You prefer to work downstairs in the art studio and library. I leave during the day too because I have errands to run and things to do to live. But I still leave every single night so you can sleep. So, as I was telling her off, she just stormed out of the room before I could say anything else. She stormed back into the room and started yelling some stuff about how unfair things are for her. Hey, I think we really need to talk.
Oh, that's how it is, huh? If that's how it's gonna be, I'll get my dad on the phone.
So she rings up her dad. But when he picks up, the problem is he speaks an entirely different language from me, so even when she explained things to him, I didn't even know what he was saying back to me. Ogre, this is getting ridiculous.
Oh, really? Why don't you get your parents on the phone?
My parents? Why are you involving my parents too? We should just talk to the residential advisor.
I think this is the best way, since we can't seem to handle this problem ourselves.
What the Okay, what is wrong with this girl? You know what? Just to make her shut up, I'll do it.
I really do think that you're being very unfair to me.
I'm really not. I've been following the schedule as best as I can for your sake.
Oh yeah? Well, if it's gonna come to this, then I'll just tell everyone your personal secrets so you'll stay out of the room more.
Hello?
Are you blackmailing me?
Well, if that's what this is, then I am.
At that moment, I cracked, and I was so tired of her tantrums and her inability to hold a civil conversation, instead going over to blackmailing. I think her father was also taken aback, and it seemed like he was telling her not to do that based on the tone of his voice and her reaction. But I was too mad to even think more about it. I'm going to the residential advisor. This is absolutely fucking ridiculous that you're blackmailing me.
Wait! Maybe we don't have to,
Hi, I was wondering if you could help us with a problem we have.
Oh yeah, sure. It's our job after all.
This lasted like 2 hours, and unfortunately, even when we went down there, I barely had a chance to speak my part. She filled everything with her words and rambles, and even when I did speak, she interrupted me constantly. But then, she said this one thing.
Yeah, she's always on the phone. And I even talked about it with the other suitmates. I have evidence. I recorded her talking and...
You... what?
Wait, you recorded her? You do know that's illegal, right? That's an invasion of privacy.
Well,
You can get severely punished for that kind of stuff.
Boy, does she surprise me in so many ways, recording me illegally without my consent. And what's more, she had all of my suitemates against me. Rather than having them just talk to me about it, they just talk shit behind my back. I wanted to stay strong and say something to her, but at that point I felt so betrayed and overwhelmed that I just broke down to tears. I was just so tired of all of this. After that, it was a real blur because I was so out of it, and she was in trouble, but not to the point it went to court or anything. At the end, she decided to talk to the residential hall advisor the next day, the main person in charge of handling the students in the apartment. We temporarily concluded to follow the schedule. She would leave early and I would be in the room so we wouldn't have to interact. But when I woke up the next morning, to my surprise, but not really, she was still there looking at the schedule.
Oh, Yoon, I want to say something.
What?
So I was thinking, the schedule is very unfair for me since I leave the room for most of the day, and you have the room for yourself. And I sleep between 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. instead of 10 p.m. to 12, so technically I should be getting more hours in time in the room. So you should leave the room more during the day too.
What? That doesn't...
We'll talk about it later. I'm gonna go to the RHD.
I really wanted to leave. I didn't care how. This was just a toxic environment to be in with such a roommate who blackmails you, controls you, blames your inconveniences on you. I just went back to bed, feeling suffocated in the room I was alone in. Huh?
Hello? This is the residential hall advisor. I heard from Ogre's story, but I think it's best if we all talk together instead. Can you come to my office?
Yeah.
So that's what happened with the RA.
So the both of you are having trouble cooperating in the same room. Yoon, what did you talk about with the RA?
Well,
you see, what happened was...
I was not talking to you. Yoon let you speak your turn. You should let her speak.
I couldn't have asked for a better residential hall director. The residential hall advisor let ogres go on, but with her, no. She didn't let anything slide and knew what she was doing. And with Hope, I explained everything to her. The recording, the schedule, the suitemates all ganging up on me, the blackmailing. I told her everything she was doing.
Recording is indeed an illegal offense. You could get into some serious trouble for that. And roommates aren't about having schedules, it's about coexisting together since you're both living in the same room. The schedule idea, it's absolute nonsense. And Ogre, instead of talking behind Yoon's back, you should communicate with her and the rest of your roommates.
I see. I'll do that next time. But I think she should move out. Maybe to the higher floors where it's louder? She's loud, so she would fit perfectly with them.
What? No. Moving Yoon to a different, louder room won't solve anything at all. It seems like you're the one who has a problem with her in the room, so why should she move out because you don't like her there? If you really don't like the room, then you should move out yourself.
And there she said it! Literally at Ogre's face. I never felt so relieved and happy to hear her say that. And after that, we decided on a place for her to move. There was only one person across the room from ours. I mentioned that in the last video. So she moved into there. So unfortunately, we were still in the same apartment and I still had to see her face. But I didn't have to move out and she did. I deeply thank the residential hall director because I felt so suffocated, but she really did help me out. I could have never imagined what would have happened without her, honestly. I had to go to class right after, so I went straight there. But after that, I came back home. Oh. And that was my happy ending, or overall at least. Since she still existed in the same apartment, I can go on and on about how dirty she was, as well as the other suite mates, but that might have to be for another separate video. If you really want to, let me know. Next time, I'm definitely gonna try not to have someone like her step all over me. I'm gonna fight back a lot harder. Yeah. And I also want to mention we got new merch, and I noticed a lot of my merch is kind of leaning towards women, so here it is. I hope you guys will like that too. And thank you to all the voice actors, Luby, Bokuto, Blade, and my dad. He said hello on the phone, so. And also, one last thing, I have a Patreon now. You can try to go support me there. It'd be really nice, be very helpful. There's a lot of cool stuff you can get. The webcomic stuff that you saw, you can also get like the full version if you become a star cookie. Yeah. And so yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you later. Bye-bye.